So before we begin today's lesson, I'm going to start with a review. Do you guys remember simplifying these? Our first step is to get two numbers that multiply to 50. Good, thank you. 10 times 5 will give me 50. Now we're going to simplify this 10. Yep, 5 times 2 is 10. Okay, so this is as simple as it'll get. We can't break down the 5 into smaller pieces, and we can't break down the 2 into smaller pieces. So that means I'm going to write my square root as I have 2 5s and a 2. And this makes sense because 5 times 5 is 25. 25 times 2 is 50. So we just broke 50 into smaller parts, okay? So what we did here is we looked for groups of 2, crossed it out, and then we wrote it outside. So our answer was 5 square root 2. You guys remember this? All right, nice. Okay, now because we were doing the square root, do you guys remember from the last lesson what number I can imagine right here? A 2. We can imagine a 2 here. So guys, this is a root 2. That's why we looked for groups of 2. Okay, now what we are going to do today. So let's just recall this real quick. The number that you can imagine right here is a 2. So a square root has what root? The answer is 2. Therefore, we looked for groups of 2. So the root tells you how many we need in each group, okay? If you just have a plain old square root, that means you're looking for groups of 2 because you can imagine a 2 right there, okay? So let's look at what we're going to do today. How many am I going to need in each group? 3, because my root is 3. So your root is 3. That means you need 3 in each group. 3 in each group. So guys, let's go ahead and break this down like we're used to doing. I need two numbers that multiply to 162. This is a really big number. I just like to start with 2. 2 times 81, thank you, is 162. Let's break down 81. What times what will give you 81? Good. 9 times 9 will give you 81. And let's break down the 9s. What times what is 9? 3 and 3. Thank you. 3 times 3 is 9. So I'll write that for both. Okay, so now I'm going to put the smallest numbers under the square root symbol. So I'm going to have a 2 and some 3s. Okay, so that's what will go under the radical. 2 times 3 times 3 times 3 times 3. And it's root 3. That means I need to look for groups of 3. Here is a group of 3. I'm going to cross it out and I'll write a 3 outside. Are there any other groups of 3s in here? No. So we're going to stop here. On the outside, I have 3. Root 3, and what's on the inside? A 2 times a 3 is 6. So that's your answer. Okay, let's move on to the next example. Okay, so this example, what is our root? Our root is 4. So that means we're going to look for groups of 4. Okay, so let's go ahead and break this down. I need two numbers that give me 48. 6 times 8, good. And let's break down 6. Yep. 2 times 3 is 6. Let's break down the 8. 2 and 4. And let's break down 4. 2 times 2 is 4. Great, so I have the smallest bits. We're going to put these smallest numbers under the square root symbol. Or it's not a square root, it's a fourth root. Okay, so I have a 4 on the outside, so let's just copy it over. It's the fourth root. And I'm going to write 48 as 2 times, I have 1, 2, 3, 4 2s. and a 3. And how many x's do I have? 5 x's. So I'm going to write all 5 x's. Okay. So guys, I'm looking for groups of 4 this time. So here is a group of 4s, or a group of 4 2s. So I'm going to cross those out and put one of them outside. Here is a group of 4 x's. Cross that out. I'm going to put an x outside. Any more groups of 4? No, there's nothing else. All right, so let's simplify what we have. On the outside, 2 times 4 is 8, and I have an x there. And then on the inside, I have 3 and an x. So 3 x's on the inside. And that's your answer. Okay. Let's do the next example. Okay, so guys, we have to recall what we learned last week. So whenever I have this, do you guys remember where the 1 will go and where the 3 will go? Yep, 1 will go on the inside. And the 3 goes right here. Okay, that's what we learned last week. The denominator of your exponent is your root. Okay. All right, so this is how we rewrote this. Do I have to write the 1 right here? No, I don't. Okay. All right, so let's go ahead. And guys, this is how you write it, but let's just pretend. I'm going to pretend real quick. Let's say that they gave us a 2 right here. What would I put inside? A 2. And that means you have this same thing twice. So this would be the same thing as saying 8x to the 6y cubed times 8x to the 6y cubed. You would have it twice. Make sense? Okay, but we don't have it twice. We just have it once. Okay, so this is what we have. Let's start simplifying this. I need 2 numbers that give me 8. Yep, 4 times 2 is 8. Let's break down the 4. 2 times 2 will give you 4. Okay, so let's rewrite this. I want groups of 3. So I have 2 times 2 times 2. How many x's?
6.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. How many y's? 3 y's. We're looking for groups of 3. Okay, so let's see what I will get. Here is a group of 3. Cross it out, put it outside. Here is a group of 3. Cross it out, put it outside. Here's a group of 3. Cross it out, put it outside. Here's a group of 3. Cross it out, put it outside. Okay, so guys, notice there's nothing on the inside anymore. That means I don't need this at all. There's nothing under the root, okay? There's nothing under the radical. All right, so what's on the outside is my answer. So my answer is 2x squared y. And that's it. We don't have the radical anymore because everything crossed out. Okay. Okay, just as a side note, by the way, does anyone need me to go over any of the examples y'all did? Which one? The last one? This one? This one? Okay, so this will be rewritten as 32b to the 5th, and the 4 will go out here. So we're gonna break down the 32. Can y'all give me 2 numbers that multiply to 32? Thank you. 8 times 4 is 32. Let's break down this 8. 2 times 4 is 8, and let's break down this 4 into 2 times 2. Break down this 4 into 2 times 2. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 2s. So I'm going to rewrite this as 5 2s. And how many b's? 5 of them. And we want groups of 4 since it's root 4. So now here's a group of 2s, cross it out, put it outside. Here's a group of b's, cross it out, put it outside. So on the outside, I have 2b, root 4 of 2 and a b are left over. So that's 2b. And that's your answer. Okay, so just one thing that I wanted to talk to y'all about is there is an example on the next page where you're going to have a negative 27. So guys, let's break this down. What two numbers will give you negative 27? Yes, negative 9 and 3, or what else? Yep, negative 3 and 9. It's going to be important which one you choose to be negative. Okay, you'll see why in a moment. What times what will give you negative 9? 3 times negative 3? Okay, and let's say it's root 3. So guys, do I have a group of 3 here? No. Let's finish this one. What two numbers will multiply to give you 9? Or what else? Negative 3 times negative 3 will also give you a positive 9. So you guys see the 3 group, or the group of 3? So that means you'd want to do it this way instead of this way. Because if you rewrote this, you'd have 3 times negative 3 times 3. And there's no group of 3 because these are not all the same. However, here you have the same number 3 times. So then that would be negative 3. Make sense, guys? So some of these you're going to have to figure out which one do I want to make negative and which one do I want to make positive so that you can get your groups. Okay? That was just a note.